Alright, today, so I'm replacing something I should have done a while ago, but I was kind of on the fence about it, seeing if I could fix it and make it work. So, ever since I actually first did anything to this H22A4 and this 94 Prelude a couple years back, I've had some issues with the brakes after, because I completely redid everything on the brakes by now. But a couple years back, I just did rotors, pads, and stainless steel brake lines, and some new calipers all the way around. So, and then when I bled everything, of course everything was new, so more pressure was going through. I had a lot of issues with the, I couldn't tell if it was the ABS or the brake booster at that time. And I just left it alone, and it set for about a year. And then I got back to it, and I put the H23 VTEC in there for a while. Took the H22A4 out because I had different plans for it. And then I turned around, got here in my new garage where I'm at, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save that H23 VTEC for something else. And I'm just gonna throw this H22A4 back in because it was in good shape. Blowing a little blue smoke, but compression was pretty good all across the board. And I was like, you know, we'll just have fun with this one for now until I decide what I'm gonna do. Well, I had it out. As you guys may have seen my prior videos, I was building it, you know, as far as not building it, but more bolt-ons and just freshening it up and everything. And I put a Skunk 2 intake manifold you may see over there on the ground on it. And if you guys have ever messed with the H22 ones, they're pretty big, they're bulky, they're longer, a lot longer than the B series or like, I'd even say the K series. They're pretty big on K, but they're just smoother and tighter. They're very long runners on the H22. So in the Prelude, it fits right up against the firewall really tight. And then the Preludes have their map sensor mounted on the firewall instead of on throttle body. So I'm going to do some relocation to that and change that up. But at the same time, I tried to fix, I'll show you guys, tried to fix this brake booster. And they don't sell the seals from Honda anymore. And I couldn't get a hold of anybody to get new seals from. And so I cleaned it up, and I tried to, if you can look right in there, you can see that brake booster pushed in the seal. Well, that seal kept slipping back due to, I want to say, rust and corrosion, plus the seal, you know, it's from 1994. So no matter what, it wouldn't seal. It kept giving me problems, and the brakes felt very tough, almost exactly like not having a brake booster at all, but actually worse because it wasn't functioning right at all. So it barely engaged the rear brakes, and you'd have to push really hard just to get the front to go down. So this is my first time actually taking a brake booster off a Prelude. These things are huge compared to like the Civics and stuff. I mean, they're all pretty big, but that one's, you know, seems a little bit bigger from what I can remember. I got brake fluid dripping on my hands. But as you can see, I got to take my fittings out because I did have the Valix Racing ABS delete kit. So I deleted ABS. Like I said, I had brand new lines, brand new brakes. I kept having the issue, and then you can obviously see this gasket is just shot. I mean, and you couldn't find any new ones. And a lot of the kits I was reading online, they wouldn't say for a stock brake master cylinder if they had new seals or anything. So at that point, I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna do a brake booster delete kit, and I went to Valix Racing, and I picked up one for the EG DC Civic Integra chassis, and he also mentioned in there that it should fit for most of the other 90s eras Hondas. But he, you know, obviously he didn't say 100% sure. So I took a chance with it, and I was like, what the hell? Otherwise I could sell it or use it on something else down the road. Probably even fit the CRV if I wanted to. And I went to Honda and I checked the OEM gasket for the brake booster, and I looked on an EG and EK, and it was the same thing for as the Prelude. So I took it, and I was like, all right, this has got to work, at least for fitment to the wall. And I matched it up, and lo and behold, it does work. Now, I haven't found any official kits. I know some people have done with like the Willowwood brake master cylinder and some other stuff, but I haven't found any like official Prelude kits. So I'm kind of hoping that with this working, maybe I can message him and he can just make an official 4th Gen Prelude kit, which I believe it worked for the 5th Gen. I'm not 100% positive, and I'm not positive the 3rd Gens. But either way, I do know he makes some stuff for the 4th Gen, so that would help out. And I do know some other people have worked some stuff out, but it would be nice just to have a, you know, hey, click here, go here, buy it, get a kit for you, and you don't have to, you know, search all around. But basically, he supplies a mounting bracket, and he supplies a Blux or a Willwood, depending on what kit you get, I think, brake master cylinder. And he gives you all the fittings and the 3 lines that you'll need to set it up for the front and rear brakes. I already have the kit in there, so basically I'm just gonna have to attach this line to the master cylinder, and basically like this, and of course tighten them all up once I have it mounted, and run this, and I should be able to connect this to the lines that I already had for the ABS brakes. We'll find out once I'm done with it, for sure. But it may not look the prettiest. Obviously, if I do this to the 93 or something similar, I am going to probably get rid of ABS on there, because they're just known to always have issues after a while. And I want to clean up the engine bay when I do the H22 UR swap in there. At least then I'll know, and I'll make it look a little bit cleaner. The 94 Prelude, because of the shape it was in when I got it and stuff, now it's becoming a lot better because I've put a lot more money than I planned on into it. But it's just going to be the race car, drag car, autocross, something. I don't know yet, but I'm going to have just more fun with it, and I don't want to worry about, like when I worry about touching that one and it being scratched or messed up or, you know, looking terrible. So these lines may not look the best in there, but they'll work, and I'll find a way to tighten it up and stuff over time. So we're gonna put it in. I'm gonna try to film as much as I can. I'm not gonna film under the dash, because if any of you guys have worked on a 94 Prelude or just any of the 4th Gen Preludes, you know the dash is even more of a pain in the ass to get under than the common Hondas that I have ever messed with, from Civic, Integra, RD1, you know, CRV chassis, to everything other than the NSX. Pretty much across the board, I've been under at one point in time, and the 4th Gen Prelude is just fucking compacted under there, so it's a pain in the ass. So I'll show you it afterwards here, you'll see later in the video, but I'm not gonna film while I'm under there. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And I forgot to say, you know, this comes with the 4 mounting bolts, the hardware that you'll need. Obviously there's 4 of these. It's 5mm hex head, 13mm nut. Basically on the mounting plate, you're gonna push these through, tighten them. It's kind of a tight fit, as you can see by the reservoir tank, but you can get it in there, tighten everything by hand before you even get it on. Then you place this in, and I'll let you know. Hopefully, I haven't officially tried this. Hopefully this works. An extension is long enough to get the brake pedal, no issues. And basically, if it is, you just adjust this, push a pin through, put your cotter pin through, attach to your brake pedal, and you're good to go. The most pain in the ass about this is just taking everything off. And then for me, I just hate bleeding brakes. So it's gonna have to bleed the brakes afterwards, and I'm pulling all 4 wheels off doing that. To me, that's more of a pain in the ass than doing any engine bay work, because I just can't stand sitting there doing it. But I'll let you guys know as it goes. They'll be editing this video, and you'll probably see here in a couple of minutes. I'll skip right to, you know, what I've got done for you. All right, what's going on, guys? So I'm back. So as you saw earlier in the video, I was doing the brake booster kit from Valix Racing on the 4th Gen Prelude, and I wasn't sure if it was going to fit. And honestly, it ended up it fit great. It bolted right in. It's the same firewall setup as an EG Honda Civic, and it bolted right in there great. So like I said earlier in the video, if you're watching it all the way through, I wasn't going to videotape me doing everything on this, because it's just really a pain in the ass, especially underneath the dash. But once you get everything else from underneath the dash, it's really not too bad. So I'm going to swap around here, show you really quick, finish up this video and show you what I did. And pretty much, you know, it's not too bad. Okay, so basically you're going to get the kit. the kit has everything you need in there. You're gonna basically unbolt your old one, and I'll show you underneath. It's just 4 bolts, and you take out the little pin down there that holds the brake pedal to the brake master cylinder. I'll show you that. That's where you do have to do some changing for this kit, but it's gonna come with basically the lines you need. Now, I already had their ABS kit, so I didn't have to change all my lines. But as you can see right back here, here's that T fitting, and I just lined it up there and kind of set it back. I am down the road going to tighten it up a little bit, but I wanted to make sure everything worked fine. But one thing with this kit I want to say is really anything for them, but these fittings, they say not to use any any type of Teflon tape, anything in there. I'm assuming because the brake fluid will eat it through. So you just have to really tighten these things down. You got to crank on them. And once I cranked on everything, all the fittings, some did come without a washer, some didn't. That's talking from the ABS delete kit to the brake line kit. I did their whole kit basically. Everything was fine. There was no leaks, no issues. But the brake booster kit does work. That is something that I wanted to let people know. It looks great in the bay, saves space. The only thing is, filling up the reservoir is kind of pain in the butt. You got to get a little funnel with a tube. Not a big deal, but going inside the car, I'm going to try to get this the best I can, because this is kind of really hard to get underneath in the 4th Gen Prelude. But if you look right up there, there's 4 bolts, 4 nuts for those studs. They're 13 millimeter, and you'll take this off. See that plastic piece with the little metal rings around it, or clamps? You just pull it off, and then there's basically a bolt. Not a bolt. Those plastic screws, you can unscrew those out, pop them out, or you can just fold this thing out of your way like I did. Now, once you do that, you'll be able to get to all 4 of those bolts. There's 2 on the other side. I don't know if you can see them, but they're basically on the exact same side as those 2. And I put a screw and a bolt through, actually, because that little C-clamp, or I'm not sure the exact technical term for it, is actually a little too big, and the stock one doesn't work just right to give you enough adjustment. So you'll have to put a bolt through, and what I did is I took an extra bolt I had and 12 millimeter nut, and bam, went through there, and it tightened a little bit, because this one, the stock one, if I remember right, it's been a couple days since I got this done, was too small, I think, and then the other one was too big, the clamp, to fit the pin through and basically put the cotter pin. I wanted to go with that, but it's not a big deal putting a bolt through. I just grabbed an extra bolt and went through there, tightened it, and once I got it to clamp everything up, I tightened it pretty good, and it didn't put too much strain on that clamp because of the way it's designed. So yeah, if they make an official kit for the 4th Gen Prelude, it would be nice if they test that out and get that just right, but you can make it work. So, but yeah, basically that's it. Valix Racing, I'll put the link below to their website, and I'll show some screenshots of the one I bought exactly. But everything works good. Took it out for a drive. Definitely feels like a car without a brake booster, but it works all good. No leaks, nothing. I'm happy with it. So hopefully that helps, guys. You guys now, I'm not sure how many people knew, but I didn't know that kit will work, and good to go. So there is a kit available that will work for you. I believe some people have used, like I said earlier, the Willwood kit and done a few things, but this was kind of nice because it basically had everything you needed, just one and done. So all right, guys, have a good one, YouTube. Let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next video.